All right. Good morning, everybody. It is first trading day of November here, November 3rd, 9:16 in the morning. I got my friend Gianni here, who's traded he actually in the chef business, right?
Yeah, a little
Yeah,
bit,
a
yeah.
little bit in the chef business and has previous experience in crypto. He's like, "What is it like to trade?" I'm like, "Come on over, I'll show you." But we have the Ninja Trader Cup Arena today, so you'll notice this Zoom I'm streaming looks a little different here. I have all of those products that they're offering. And it's been a while since I've traded the 6E. I'm pretty sure it's slow, but I got everything from MES, MNQ, MCL, MGC, and the M6E, which are the five products. And then I think Tradeify is also having a competition. So there's a bunch of these trading competitions going on right now. With some pretty big prizes. The Tradeify guy, so the guy leading the Tradeify competition was up $20,000 on a two lot. So I mean, I don't know how you get up $20,000 on a two lot before the day even opened. That's pretty incredible. I have a feeling there's like some hackers, but that's another story. I still thought it'd be a little something fun for people to participate in, and so we'll give that a shot. Moving into our analysis, I posted my biases here for the day, and it was neutral for Nasdaq. I'm actually going to pull something across that I've been using. Neutral for the gold market and the oil market. So these cumulative numbers, we have -2. We basically have a 0 on CL because it's 3, -5, 1, 1 on our startup trading momentum indicator across the time frame. So that equals a cumulative score of 0, which gives me a neutral bias. And then gold here, -3, +1, +1, +3. So we have a cumulative score of 2. These numbers will change throughout the day, but right now we have a cumulative score of 2, which makes it have um, a neutral bias for me. And neutral bias, if I'm in a neutral bias, I want to be short above the mid, long below the mid, and then for oil, same thing, short above the mid, long below the mid. And then the indexes, I'm a little more bullish because as you can see, their cumulative scores a little bit higher. We have a cumulative score here in the ES 5, 8, 9, and then 12. So positive 12 here in the ES. For the NASDAQ, it's also 12. It's 5, 1, 1. That's 7 plus 5 is 12. So that's where I'm getting my biases from here to go into the open. And we were at that upside expected range that Perry had mentioned. We also, into the end of the day, the index, I'm going to get rid of the extended section here real quick. The NASDAQ pulled down into what was this full 50% retracement long, and we are all the way up on our -61s here. So we are going to be opening definitely above where I would expect us to be. And what I'll be looking for is this halfway back long to I'm gonna actually draw it to the overnight high. I'm looking for that end of day low at 4 o'clock, too high to trade eventually here today, and that's a 26,113. If we do trade like let's say all the way up to 26,350s and we start getting up there, I would be looking for, even though I'm bullish here, looking for potential evidence of a reversal. Higher time frame targets this week are going to be up at 26,541, and that's based on the retracement we saw at the end of the day Thursday. Coming out of that, we had Amazon and Apple earnings, and that target I do believe will be complete this week unless we break that 61. So we're looking for pullbacks to enter here. The bias is bullish. The area I'm interested in though is basically 100 points below where we're currently trading. So I might be waiting around. There is, if you want to look for a more aggressive move here, the more aggressive move at this point in time, there is an extension anchor from the 3:50 a.m. Sequence. So we had it traded here once to target. That same anchor new high is what's completed here this morning. So the most aggressive bid here would be this 50% that I'd be willing to take, and that's a 26,178. So we'll watch that 26,178. You got that upper mid immediately below us, but we're going to need to see that VIX falling off, as Perry mentioned, because we're up at highs in the NASDAQ. We are not up at highs in the VIX. Okay, so that's what I have here. If we can start, or sorry, not down at lows in the VIX. If the VIX can start dropping and then we can come in and hold this extension, this 26,178 is going to be the more aggressive bid. If not, do expect that pullback, that deeper pullback to at least maybe we only get the halfway back from the overnight lows, but anywhere between 26,113 to 26,100 and I guess that'd be about 30, 38. That'd be the levels that I think we could drop into below here. So I'm going to leave those draws up here for the NASDAQ. And then moving on to the S&P 500, we had this 50% retracement, held a little better than the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ had come down and broken at 61. We're going to be on our way up to the 69.13. And when that trades, that's potentially when you might start seeing resistance in the NQ when the ES completes its target, because then both indexes will have completed upside targets and you can look for a potential reversal. But if we're going to stick with that bullish bias here, we're going to be looking at the overnight low to high as our potential support. That's going to be a 68 89, 68, 90 level at this point in time. So I do want to see a retracement down before looking to pick up any longs, and we're just kind of at the top of the range. That's what's hard here. We're bullish bias. We want to be long, but we're at the top of the range and we're kind of a little bit extended from where we'd want a new entry in. So there's not going to be much to do initially off the open here. And the indexes, except sit on the hands and wait for us to either pull back down into these supports or complete these targets, and then taking a look at the VIX from there. Moving on to oil and gold. Now, gold here is just seems to be have gotten a little sloppy. We're neutral bias in gold. One of the levels I'll look for this week, if we can trade it, is going to be a 40.66. This 40.66 is above us, and it's something you should pay attention to. I think we came all the way down into a full halfway back long from what was Tuesday's low to the high of Thursday. That did had participation, and we have rotated out of that low. What I would love to see is actually it already traded that swing low too high, traded its 50% retracement at 4:44 in the morning. We've had a good reaction out of that. And if I am neutral bias, excuse me, if I am neutral bias, I am interested in longs below the mid, okay, or shorts above it, but along below the mid here, 40.19, the halfway back from this recent morning swing low could be a potential area into the direction of a higher time frame move up, and it's below that mid. But any longs above this mid, I'm just going to avoid. You can see earlier in the day, any longs above this mid, not a good idea. We pull back below the mid, trade a support, better idea. So I'm going to go with that same thesis, and that's going to hold true for the oil market as well. So we're going to look at what is last week's low on Thursday to the overnight high. You can see that actually traded in a front run of its level. 60.57 traded 60.59s. We're going to set alert at that 60.57. We're going to be looking for buyers to step in there. So I will be limiting that here probably this morning when we open, looking for that 60.59, 60.57. So looking for 60.57 supports or longs below the mid. Same thing for with gold, 40.18s, longs below the mid, short setups above it. Although I don't think we're quite, set up short here. You can see the same thesis is going to apply for oil, shorts above the mid. We're above the mid right now, running into this old short 61.10s. But this is oil's a pretty choppy market. Doesn't have any hard trends. The indexes have a little bit better of trends, but I'm not expecting anything major here, really, in any of the markets. So I'm gonna switch back over to the Nasdaq and the ES. Oh, and I guess I might as well go over a 6E, even though I haven't traded that thing in so long. Let's see here. I need to duplicate something. Create another grid, take a look at the VIX here. I'm going to set an alert, see if we can get below this 80.85 in the VIX. And then let's take a look at I'm going to pull up the M6E, or you can pull up the 6E. I'm pretty sure the chart should be the same. Let's take a look at the 6E. This is the euro. Okay, just doing some bottom to top analysis. This is probably the last time I looked at it was in September. So September, halfway back to target. Here's your next measured move. Ooh, we just completed a target. So we just completed the 50% retracement that traded right before it looks like the contract rollover. I'm not sure if that's a November contract or what, but we just completed. Oh, wait, this is drawn incorrectly. We have not just completed it. I had that draw wrong. 1:15:14 would be the completion. 1:15:14 would be the completion of that. So I'm going to set an alert down there. And then coming out of this high, we had this traditional run to and through targets. So what we will be looking for is an extension off that traditional. Let me go to an hourly chart here. I guarantee it's already traded, but this swing low from Wednesday, October 22nd to low, hasn't really traded yet. This has been a front run. So if we can jam up to that 38, it's a 1:15:62, 63 area. I'm going to set an alert there. That's really the only setup I would have here in M6E or 6E. This is such a slow moving market though, and the M6E is such a tiny market. I don't even, I forgot what the notional value is. I don't know if I've ever even traded the M6E, but this will be the setup I'm looking for, just paying attention to the 1:15:62 or down if we get down to the 1:15:13s, just setting alerts on it because it's not going to be taking up screen space for me here today. We got about 3 minutes to the open. Let me swing back over here. Alrighty. So, who signed up for the Ninja Trader Cup? Anybody? It's 100 grand. It's 100 grand to first prize. I don't know. Being in first is gonna be pretty tough when you're competing against. I think it's like 40,000 people total, but you can definitely. We can definitely get up in the top 2% of those numbers. It's not that hard to get up in the top two, but to get to the 0.001, it's a little harder. Especially when guys are somehow up 20K on a two lot. That's like, I'm not even sure how that's possible, to be honest. That is 20K on a two lot. Maybe I don't understand the Tradify rules, but hey Nate, how you doing? The Tradify rules, maybe they scale larger, but 20K on a two lot seems insane by my math standards. Too funny.
Yeah, that's good.
Let's see here. You guys do me a favor and hit the like button on my YouTube. Hit it for Gianni.
For me, guys.
Gianni's coming in from New York to watch me trade.
Right. And hear good stories.
Gotta turn off the mic for those. Sorry. This is recorded to a larger audience than I always intend. So yeah, basically I'll do my trade plan. I can share these levels to people in my room. This is this software called Thinkorswim. This allows them to like populate everything on their computer that's from mine. But of course they can see it too, but kind of helps. Things do change throughout the day. Like if we make a new high or a new low, some of the draws will change, but the bigger levels I'm mentioning in the morning are just kind of like what I'm looking for to trade. But then of course it's just sitting around and waiting for those setups. And then if the market presents like new information, reacting to that information. Like right now I'm bullish bias, but I don't want to be buying what I consider to be the top of the range. So it's just like there's really not going to be much to do until we like get a pullback, or if we continue higher, like if we continue high enough, I would say, okay, like that can maybe change my bias because we're so far extended above what I anticipate we're going to do that the pullback, like right now to where I want to enter to where we are, is about 100 points. So there's 100 points that I still think we're eventually going to come down, but it's not always the best idea to try to capture that move. Instead, it's like sometimes a better idea to just wait till we come down 100 points. So you're trading in the direction of the overall trend, which just makes it easier. You're more forgiven when you can trade in the direction of the overall trend. That's why I like trading crypto is like for most people, especially on the initial bull run, was so easy because it's a one directional trade. This is a two directional trade for the most part. There's always going to be like a drift higher, but the drift higher during the the booming of the coins was pretty intense. It's just like you couldn't be wrong if you bought.
Oh yeah, you could throw a dart at a board and you make money.
Mm. Yeah, it was great. I had a friend of mine take 5K to like 500K trading in a year, which is pretty impressive returns. And that's not like one lucky coin. That was like, a couple of really well-timed trades. But like that's a pretty hard feat to do.
Sure.
Those types of returns are not given often. There's only really every few years there's some pretty wild stuff going on in the market where like you can have some larger returns, but all right, we are off to the races. Up at here at this negative 61 again. In the NASDAQ. Oh, you can trade full 6E? Okay. That's what I thought. I was like, man, that M6E is like not even worth trading. Good to know. Let's change this to 6E. MGC. All right. So I have like so much stuff going on. Sometimes I feel like I don't I half the room I need is like for streaming related stuff, but okay. Oil is chopping down, or not oil, the gold market is breaking down to that 4018. It's only 10 minutes into this sell-off, so I'm gonna see where we're at after a time cycle. If we can get down to this 44005, we went sideways for 25 minutes on high, and now we're back down. But if I want to see where we are, and let's see this. I'm gonna give the 38% retracement a shot here. We're one red bar, two red bar, three red bar, four. We'll see where we are on this. Come on. What the hell? I'm getting long MGC. Okay, off that 38. Like I said, longs below the mid. Was my bias. We're below the mid here in the 38 of the higher draw. I also had this 18s here, which I would still use that as a target. Honestly, that's 39, so I'm going to use a first trade here. We're going to use a 10-point stop from my entry. What's our 5-minute ATR? CLGC. Oh, CL coming down. Okay. All right, so the ATRs are 7, so I can actually tighten my stop up here. I'm going to use that ATR of 7, 415, going to give me 8. 415 half is my entry, so I'm going to use a stop of, so I'm coming up with a stop based on this number, which is giving me the average true range. This yellow number, it's a code. This is a code I wrote. The average true range just, it takes the last 10 bars and then just gives me the average. And then I multiply it by 1.5 to give me a little bit of room, and I expect the market to stay in between that. All right, we'll give this gold 25 minutes here, 9:30. That's gonna take us out to I guess it'll take it out at 955 technically. And then if oil gets down between 57 and 51s, you can see the indexes are coming off their old targets here. That old 61 right off of that. That's the 61 from Friday's draw, 26,258. So just gonna adjust that traditional a bit here. The traditional from the swing low of the end of the day in the Nasdaq is lines up almost with the mid of Friday. Lines up with the mid of Friday. Yeah, so first trade, good reaction. That's exactly what you want to see. I gotta free my timer over here. We're gonna place a limit in CL now. MCL, which also MCL is just, it's like almost a waste of time, to be completely honest. It's such a small contract. But if you're learning how to trade, you don't want to risk a bunch of money. It's good. Yeah, that's or S&P 500, Nasdaq, oil, gold, and then the euro.
Okay.
That's what all those are. Nice, Santiago. Shorting the negative 61. It's a good trade. Down to the extension immediately. No, I was thinking about taking that trade, but I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna stick to a one bias here. I don't want to overtrade. I don't want to overtrade. But definitely a good trade. We're at the top of the expected range in Perry's. We're at the prior day high. Gap up 200 points. See the indexes coming back in. We never completed this ES level. But I'm gonna look at the ES midpoint for along 68.81s. So I'm gonna place an order at this just above the midpoint in the ES. If we can get down there. Friday's low to the current high is gonna be 76s. Immediately trading back down into the upper mid here for the NASDAQ, and that's a good sign for those who are short. That's what you should trade back in. Getting longs above the upper mid, sketch. So just taking one trade here. So part of that plan, like, it's just like different markets try to have different biases. Like a well-prepared day, every market I'm trading, I have a bias, and then I'm trading that market a certain way based on my bias. So my bias was like gold right now, neutral, or like a neutral bias. Like I don't really think one way or the other is like super aggressive. I'm still going to place a trade that has a directional bias to it, meaning like, you got to be right which way it's going.
Yeah.
But I'm only interested. So this blue line is the middle of the day, the middle of the prior day. So I'm only going to buy if we're below the middle of the prior day, or take a long if we're below the middle of the prior day, or I'm only looking to take a short if we're above the middle of the day. Because my expectation on a neutral day is we're probably just going to be using that mid, it just kind of goes back and forth. So just like, it's just like a gravity point. So I would short if there's a setup into it, or I would long if there's a setup the other way.
Got it.
And then here we're at the mid now in CL. This is gonna tempt me to take a long here. Let's see where we are. I'm gonna wait another. This is an ATR bar at 9:30, so I'll see we are at 9:50. Coming into ES, my ES level, if you guys front run me. So, I mean, if we get a couple more ticks there, I'll be buying that market. And there it is. So we traded the mid for the ES here, swiftly back down. I'm not looking for, I don't really feel like there's going to be an explosive target here. I'm going to be looking for just like ATR moves. I don't think, like this negative 23 would be 69.13s. I'm not looking for more than 10 points right now. I just don't think we're going to get that big of a move. 83s and 93s. All right, filled on. Go here. So filled on the ES at the middle of the day. Filled on MGC below the mid. And now we're gonna wait for reactions. It's 9:45. I really like the 9:45 time frame as a potential reversal spot for whatever reason. We still have that gap fill below. I think the most extended we could get down to here is 71s. There is a chance also that the NASDAQ has not traded my anticipated support from this morning, which is 26,117. So that very well we could still come down, trade that, and that might potentially drag the ES with it. So be it if it does. The only thing that concerns me about the ES is just that the NASDAQ hasn't traded its support, and usually the NASDAQ in the ES, when you have those situations, like you'll come down and then the other will trade its support and then you'll get the move higher. But if that happens, we'll just be looking at separate entries. All right. I'm gonna move my oil order up here to the actual mid, which is 60.69. So Gold is looking great though. That 25-minute reaction right back to highs. You had one bar lower and then two big old volume, highest volume since the middle of the night here in gold, right at that entry at 9:30 at the open, and a swift move up for 12 points. Swift move up. So I always like to pay attention to, like I set this timer. The first 25 minutes are the most important to me. Like, is it going my way right away, or like, is it doing nothing? If it's not doing anything, I'll lower my expectations for the trade. If it's doing exactly what I want it to, like, it's probably gonna move higher.
Okay.
Um, because like in this case, like with gold, like this move lower, like you have a consolidation here, a move lower that basically is wiping stops out. It's taking out weak traders, and then an instant reversal back in the change of the general direction. Like that's what a great trade looks like, and all of them will look the same. They'll all look the same, where you're getting a situation that's counter trend for a very short period of time into an entry you have, and then an immediate follow through um, your way.
So you think that usually happens within 25 minutes?
Yeah, that's my theory. It's like usually, especially the time frames, it's all relative to the time frame that you're trading, but like yeah, if it's going to be the low, it's happening within 25 minutes. Otherwise, you're just going to have slow action. Like here, if anybody in this in that bought or sold, like where I'm pointing which is between the gold opens before the other markets open, they're just nobody's winning.
Yeah.
Like it's just doing nothing. And then what happens, and the same thing, like if we take a look at the crypto markets, um, like we'll do a really long consolidation. We can look at it on a daily time frame too. And then if so each one of these represents a day, like the best moves are going to be like, let's say if you bought this day, like 5 days later it's here. I mean, we really haven't gone anywhere.
Right.
Here the short, if you got short here 5 days later, like that's pretty good. If you got short here 5 days later, like if you just look at, like, even if you got long here, all right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There was only 2 more days of rally after that. We consolidated for 5 days and then we went straight down,
Mm-hmm.
and then we sold off for 5 days, and then we consolidated for 5 days. Like for some reason, like I just noticed, like even this rally, 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, 4 day, 5 day. Okay, we have one more up, and then it goes 1 day down, 2 day down, 3 day down, 4 day down, 5 day, and then we pop up.
Yeah.
Like it's just like it's one of the most consistent, repeatable patterns I've seen. Even this rally here, one first screen day, second, third, four, five, rally over, sideways.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, sideways, and then I mean, for whatever reason, I mean, I don't know why, but the market just doesn't continue to go in one direction ever. But like, if you're in a position, because everything is like time related, like you'd only want to be in it for so long before you're like, all right, this is a bummer.
Yeah. Interesting. Damn.
Well, gold is looking hot, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. Look at that.
Yeah, that's a great reaction. It's like if I wasn't, I'm a little neutral. Like I said, my bias was neutral, but I still bought below. If my bias was bullish in gold, I would maybe hold for a little longer now. Just because that's such a great reaction. Where the hell is my gold chart? Oh, I changed it to Bitcoin. That's why I can't see it. But also same thing, that midpoint, NCL, neutral bias midpoint, like we popped off it. I was looking for a little bit of a move below it, but never got filled on that. New high of the regular trading hours session here. 39 point. Cool, cool. Yes. All right, Nasdaq should be. Let me make sure here. Gonna put that order in for the NQ at 26,117. Just actually right above it.
I get it.
Yeah, that's what I figured was gonna happen is like, oh, we just came so close to it. The Nasdaq wasn't at its support and the ES was, so it'll drag the ES lower, or the ES will, yeah, I mean, drag lower with it. All right. Wow, no fill. Traded just above it so far. It's all right. Probably come back eventually. I'm already long the ES. Those are like correlated trades. I try not to enter them at the exact same time because it's basically just like you're trading the same thing. For the most part.
Make sure to like the video for me, guys.
Yeah. Do it for Gianni. We got 13 likes. That's pretty high. But
Hey,
there's 32 people watching. Nothing crazy, but
nice.
all right, we missed the fill so far in the Nasdaq by a few points, but I'm not going to be dragging any orders in. We'll just be we'll just have to forget about it for now. Or it's because I'm still long the ES. ES might come back to 72s here. That's my expectation is the ES is actually going to come back to 72s. I hope it doesn't, but I can see us sweeping this overnight low, coming right into this 68.72 and then reversing hard. So if you don't have a position in the ES and you're looking for one, that 68.72 could be it. Could be it. See, this just happens when I stream. All you guys front run me and I can't get my order filled. Say I put my order in, they all put it ahead of me.
Yeah.
No, that's my joke. I mean, our room's not big enough to do that, but also these markets are so liquid that
Right.
it doesn't really matter.
A few traders would make that.
Yeah, like I mean, stocks is one thing. Like you can move stocks, but this is like, billions of dollars
Yeah.
every candle. I mean, I can do the math on this. Last 5 minutes, how much money has exchanged hands? Notional value. Let's see here. Showing. I gotta figure out how much volume that was in the last 5 minutes. All right, let's say it was about 10,000. 10,000 times. Need a calculator for this one. Yeah, it's like $261 million in 5 minutes. It's like not quite moving the market.
Yeah. Yeah. Great.
One day.
Yeah,
$261
someone in there.
$261 million. It's crazy.
Never know.
Yeah. I've moved the market a tick before.
Yeah.
like 1 penny just because if you're like the first person to hit the ask or the bid.
Dude, in crypto, the markets are so tiny. Like,
Yeah, crypto's kind of an expensive market to trade from like a commission perspective. Um, Yeah, I mean, there's some advantages to it, but like, especially when you get in like a really heavy, the crypto market reminds me of like what people like the 80s and 90s, some of the commodity markets we had, like whether it was gold or corn, they would just like once they started moving, like they just
Yeah.
keep going, and all you have to do is like be on the one side of the trade. Nice. Now we're up to 18 likes.
18 likes. Let's go, guys.
We're above 50%.
Yes.
I don't know what the rest of you guys are doing. I mean, a bunch of boomers don't know where the like button is. Gold 3 points away from targets here. So my expectations, we've dipped into, so I'm long. I mean, it's nothing terrible, but this is one of those situations like I bought here at 9:45 in the ES, and that's gonna take me out to what is okay, 10:10. Wherever we're at 10:10, just because this has dipped a little bit my way. Nothing crazy. It's the ATRs are 9.75, but I'm gonna look to get out at like 90, 91s. So move my target down to 91. Six E, what are you doing? Nothing. Let's see. That VIX being high that Perry mentioned this morning with the index high is a great example why there was no continuation up there. Nasdaq's gonna trade, I think. We're gonna trade that 26,117s. Couple minutes away from 10 o'clock. First half an hour is over. Running back into that. Get rid of the extended session here. Let's do that. If we can't hold here, then yeah, I might be anticipating us to get back down to like 2640, or let's pull up Perry's levels here. That overnight 530, I believe, was the number he gave. Perry's positioning grid. So those levels he shared before. We're gonna take a look. Take a look at the options levels here. And we're coming up on 25 minutes in that gold trade. I'm going to be moving my stop. We were up at that NASDAQ, this yellow line, also value area high. That's where we faded from. ES's value area low, point of control. Wow, YM taking a beating here today. I don't know what is leading that lower, but the Dow is down 200 points. It's the Dow and the Russell are both down aggressively below Dow's below value area. Russell's above that value area. We're at the point of control in the ES. Okay, gold target is completed. That was a nice trade in under 25 minutes. That's perfect. That's my timer has even gone off. My timer has even gone off. But that'll set us up for the next trade here.
Look at that, 25 minutes.
Yeah. I'll just reset this bad boy. It's a super sophisticated technology.
That is, man. Did you go to school for that one?
Yeah, no, it took me 6 credit hours at $3,500 a piece to
Figure out
understand,
how to work
to
it.
figure out how to work it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Proud of you.
I think it was 20 points in gold. Yeah, more than 20 points. 24-point trade there. That's gonna put us on the leaderboard, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh,
Let's go. All right, now I'm in the Nasdaq. And it's gonna set us up. Tell you what though. Oh,
any more off?
I wish I got filled on that oil. I came down to that 72s simultaneously with this 26. Been seeing nothing but selling off the open though since. But here we are at 10 o'clock. We'll see if we can get any movement back up. I am not liking my ES entry for like a target, but it's still a manageable trade. I'm going to move my targets down to 24s and then in about 10 minutes move my stop up. It's just not getting it's dipped further against me, and now I'm in both ES and NQ. Gonna cancel my oil. Actually, I'll just leave that oil there just in case we get one of those jammers down. 84, 84.5. So I'm looking for just a couple points in the ES right now. But the NAS. Oh, I have a multi bracket in the NQ. Forgot I was doing that. I'm gonna move. I'm gonna change that multi bracket. It's pretty damn wide. So also with gold, now that we have completed this target, I'm going to draw just the full halfway back long again from this low, from that 4 a.m. low. And if we can get DAC down there, it's 40.23. I'm not interested in any more longs up here. As I said, I had a neutral bias. I was only getting long below the mid. So I'd need to see us at least back to 40.23. I do think we could easily roll all the way back over to that, especially if we start feeling back into 40.32. So that's going to be a sit on your hands moment here. And then there's also really not much to do in CL. Big old spike. I don't know. Oh, that was ISM, wasn't it? ISM was at 10 o'clock. That's what kind of what see what those numbers are in my room. So I have this like automatic tab that sends this news feed here.
Oh, nice.
If I don't know, I mean, I don't really like trade off the news per se. Like there's no like news edge. I'm aware of when it's coming out, and then like so the actual was 48.7. The forecast was 49.5. Whatever that means. doesn't really matter. There's no like by the time that news date out, there's no edge to it. Like in
Yeah.
gold, like you're already in the trade. The news completes the target. That's
Do you
all you
look
can.
at like something happening before you even jump into a day like that, like big time, or?
So like some days there's like, what's called like FOMC, like last week where they do an interest rate decision. That's like big. Or like we also had like Google earnings, Amazon earnings. Like I'm aware of that those are coming out because those are very big market impacting events. But like once the earning comes out, it's like it's just the move is so quick. There's no like trading it. Like you're not like seeing that Apple had good earnings and then deciding to like buy long because of that. You would still have to like that can change your thesis that the overall market is going higher, but then like the next day it could be like totally different. Like
Mm.
that, in fact, let me show you what the market looked like that day. This was here. So this was the report of the earnings, and the next day we opened and we instantly started like selling off. So
Oh
it's like,
yeah.
it's like, like one day, like this is the close, and then this is the next day's open. Like it was good news, and then I guess it's not good enough, and then we instantly start moving lower.
So you're mostly making your decisions off of the midpoint.
Yeah, just a combination of things. That's one of the things I look at for like my bias. But I'm measuring the distances between like rally legs. So like this low to this high divided by two was here, and then a projection it's called a Fibonacci projection is like we opened up at that target, and I mean, and then so far we've done nothing but sell in these indexes, which is that's definitely a bearish indication.
Mm.
When my bias was a little more bullish here in the indexes, but so far we have no continuation. We also This is where Friday closed. This is where Monday opened.
Mm.
So it's not getting any continuation from the open. At least we might be just moving back into lows of Friday. And then there's like you have the open, you have European session close, which is at 11:30. And then after lunch, so the European session closed 11:30 last week. For a couple of days it was 12:30 because of the daylight savings, and then when lunch ends technically is like 1:30, and then you have like different moments of liquidity uh, where traders are either like right now all of the European traders are at their desk, and so are like New York traders, they say.
Mm-hmm.
So you have two continents of traders that are at their desk. So you're gonna have a more volatile session because there's just simply more people putting orders in.
Right.
Like a lot of European traders trade US equities, and so they'll literally just trade. I mean, I think living in Europe is actually the best time frames to be a trader because you can trade their open, which is like 3 a.m. our time or 2 a.m. our time depending on where you live. And like I'm not waking up for
No.
that. Like
Yeah.
I'm sleeping through the night.
Right.
But there's a lot of moves that'll happen around that time frame that are pretty good moves, and like they'll start. So like even if you look at last night, this is right at that European Open, 2:45 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
They start the move.
Yeah.
Like we kind of don't do anything, and then they start the move. They drove the price higher into the U.S. Open, and then the U.S. traders come and they drive the price back down. So, but like this is, I mean, that's a great because this is also a low volatility environment where you see these moves aren't that big, but the move is big. The final move is big, but the bars are actually small. Versus like this morning, volatility is picking up because only the futures are open overnight.
Right.
Once the market opens, the stocks are open too, so you're just generally going to have bigger moves. All right, guys, starting to get a bit of a move out of here. So what I'm going to do is because this ES, like I said, this ES, I'm in both ES and NQ. I don't want to be long them both considering my positioning in the ES just isn't great. Okay, it just is not ideal. So the full halfway back short is 68.88, and then I'm just gonna have to move my stop up below this low here. I'm down about 4 points on it right now from my entry. It's nothing crazy, but I don't want to be holding a position versus like the Nasdaq. I have better positioning in, so I'm more inclined to hold that. If I have both of these markets, They're going to trade together. My positioning's better in the NQ. The full halfway back short is 26,177. So ideally, that I'm not going to look for anything more than that right now. That would just be that's called right now. It also lines up with the upper mid, so it's just the middle of that leg, or the 50% retracement should act as resistance if we can even get up there. But it is just past 10 o'clock, and we'll see here. See what we do. You can see gold's having a hard time staying above here now that we've completed those targets. If we do break below, like we're just holding 5-minute lows here, but if this kind of reverses, I would expect us to pull back in, like I said, to 23s. 1 minute chart. Eyes on YM. Yeah, I think I mean, we fell so far in the YM. Let's take a look at this. Is the only thing I have it on here. Traded down to that prior day low in the YM. 5-minute chart. I want to see this ES get back above this. I believe that's a gamma level for Perry. This orange line, 68.80 half. Went right to value area low there in the NASDAQ before catching the bids. Point of control. That's developing, I guess. I'm not sure Perry can tell me that. But we did go to the point of control. Here we go. Getting back up. All right, so like I said, my exit here is the NASDAQ's going to be that upper mid 26,177, and then I got an exit at 84s in the ES, which is just a few points above my entry. If we can get up there, of course. Probably not. The work is a little more, I mean, work's pretty mentally intensive, but it's not as hot as being behind a stove.
Yeah, no, dude, this is awesome. It's cool to just kind of like soak, my head up in all this. And
yeah, I think if you never like see like what's going on, it's kind of hard to like wrap your head, or like how does like a trader make decisions, or
yeah, exactly.
like what are you looking at? I remember like, trying to learn how to trade and be like, what do you even do? Like, where do you start? Like
Yeah.
there's so many things, and like I don't know, if you go on like, even if you were to go on like my YouTube, it's very hard to grasp everything unless it's
Yeah.
like really refined.
But it makes a little bit of sense. Like I'm obviously not even close to your level of comprehension of this, but it seems like it's digestible.
Yeah, it is. It is digestible. As long as like you're just kind of broke down. I mean, once you see like things, it's like, okay, like I could get this with time. Like there's like in trading, there's like busy work where like it's like you have to understand the definitions and things. That's like just like anybody's level of intelligence and comprehension and like memory. And then it gets into like a little bit more, the sophisticated thing is actually like the process of like how am I developing like a thesis on a trade.
Hmm.
But like I try to break everything down to being like as mechanical as possible as far as like my stops are based on this. I'm like the 25-minute thing really helps Pete traders like be like, oh, okay, like how long should I be in this trade? Or um, I'm using bracket orders, so I always have my stop and my target out there. I'm not just like buying positions and like, because if you buy a position and you don't have a stop and that thing continues to move against you, it's
Yeah,
not fun.
it's not good.
No, it just can continue to move against you if you don't have a stop. So
I know a guy that has just algorithms trade for him, and he's doing like 200,000 trades a day.
wow. Yeah, one of my buddies here in Chicago, he's the lead programmer at a company called Optiver, and they're like a huge trading firm, and he processes like his he's in charge of 80 engineers, so like computer engineers. So he runs all their, and I asked him, I was like, how much volume are you guys doing today? He said about $20 billion in volume a day.
Dude,
Yeah, I'm like, okay, that's different.
that's
Yeah, it's a
insane. Is
different level of trading for sure.
that gonna be the next step? Just writing a bunch of algorithms?
I have a couple already that I've written, but it's like some of this stuff can be programmable, but like also like a good programmer, the amount a good programmer costs, and like the level of sophistication like in data you have to have is kind of beyond what I have access to,
Yeah.
because you have to pull like so much. So the computers also like you have to know every volume. Like some of these guys, they'll understand like what the position of the trader had on the other side based on like within a relative range. Like I really only have price and time data. They have price, time, volume, all these things that I just don't have access to.
Yeah.
I mean I could with, it would take like in order, and also to hire like programmers that can fully develop you really need like very strict NDAs, because like otherwise they can just take your code and
Yeah.
run with it.
Hmm.
And in order to be able to have that, you basically got to be paying that programmer full time. It's not like contractor work. You can't like have a guy come work for you for like a few months to come work on it, because then like if he just fucking disappeared, like you're never gonna catch him.
Right.
Like like they're
Yeah, that's like sensitive information for
yeah.
sure.
So you have to be able to afford a programmer full time, which is a couple $100,000, and keep him on payroll, and then like trust him. Yeah, there's levels to it, but
Yeah,
I,
for
I I've
sure.
I've programmed some basic stuff, but nothing like crazy sophisticated. All right, so I did get stopped out after moving my stop up in the ES, so we're just gonna take a little. We're gonna wait till I'm not gonna take another trade in that till 10:40. Let's have to see what we do, but we are continuing to trade lower here and the midpoint. We traded the midpoint now in the Nasdaq. I wonder if there's anybody there, but it's been nothing but sellers. We'll see if that changes here at the end of 10:30, or if not, maybe we'll have sellers all the way into the European session. It's just full halfway back here. Yeah, we're basically at the full halfway back long from that Friday low now. I'm gonna draw it from the low of Thursday. Oil might come down and give me a fill. 60.69.
Do you like to trade these in particular? Do you jump in anything else
I
or?
primarily just trade these.
Yeah.
They're going to be the most active markets. The Nasdaq and the ES are pretty much the most liquid futures markets. And then there's only so much I think you can pay attention to before you're just stretching yourself too thin.
That's a good point.
There's only like, if there's like one strategy I would run, because like I prefer like a hyper bullish market. So like you can search markets by their strength. So I have like, if I go here, I'm gonna go to this futures. This one, no. Come on. So these are all of the different futures contracts, and then this is the percentage change over 5 days. So right now, Bitcoin is the weakest.
Hmm.
And then the strongest futures market would be natural gas. So if I'm like let's say I wanted to be like a long only trader, so I'm just basically going to trade like the strongest markets. We have natural gas, silver, and then this is actually the Japanese futures market, and then it's gold. So really everything else in that has been over the last 5 days has been weak, but just because it's been strong doesn't mean it's going to stay strong. However, a 22% move in a futures market is pretty freaking big. So I would, if I was running like a long only strategy and only interested in taking trades or markets that are trending higher, um, oh, that's a Nasdaq, so I'd go like here and then let's look at Nat Gas, and then I would just be looking for. I'll start like on the daily time frame, and then I would say okay, like this is a sequence I'm looking for. This would be my next entry here in Nat Gas. This is called an extension, so I'd take the high of October 22nd and basically draw a retracement and then set an alert and then wait for it. Like if I was interested in like swinging that specific market.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but if you trade the same markets every day, like it allows you to like understand their behavior. Like
Right.
I don't know, like I mean I could look it up, but I don't know when the Nat Gas report is coming out. I think it's on Wednesday, but I haven't been paying attention to it. But like any market, like with the right rule set, you can apply trading strategies to.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like how much attention do you have
Right.
to give?
It's a little more consistent with these markets too than if you're just like jumping into.
Yeah, there's like stock traders. The advantages stock traders have over futures traders, like there's two things. It's a double-edged sword. Where like they're basically trading a different market every single day, and the best like traders I know, stock traders, are just shorting these hyperbolic moves. And the reason their strategy works so well is because these stocks, like once they top, they drop like 50% in a day. Like these are stocks that go from like $3 to 30 in a week for some, for some, because people are shorting them, and then all of a
Yeah.
sudden they'll just go from 30 to 15 in a day, and they'll catch that huge move. But they're always every morning they got to do a little more preparation and knowing like
What can happen?
what happened, what's the stock, what's the volume rotation of the stock, is there enough liquidity for them to position themselves, if they're a bigger trader, and then um, if they can borrow shares. So you have to, like when you're shorting, you actually have to be lent shares, and shares are not always available from
Right.
your broker. But versus like if you want to short sell a futures contract, there's no lending involved. I don't have to get that futures contract from whoever, and I don't have to pay a margin loan on it. But you do have to do that all in stocks. So it I like looking at the same markets every day. It's a little less confusing, but it also just depends on your trading strategy.
Sure.
And the taxes are lower in futures trading too, which is nice. And then
Nice.
of course, for somebody who's like learning how to trade, like the only time you can trade stocks is really during the open, versus like futures, like you can trade at night. There's that breakdown in CL or gold from the target finally coming off. So we spent about 25 minutes going sideways, and then
Right. That was that trade. Yeah.
yeah, I was thinking about shorting it, but I was like, I kind of just want to wait for the long. I am gonna place another order at 23, so if we get down there, 23.1. Looks like we are holding some type of must be an extension. The aggressive selling in the indexes. Can't even tell. Just no bid, no bid right now. Very weak index action. We've had one green bar all day on the 5-minute chart.
Were you trading that day when Trump and Elon were going
A,
nuts?
a couple, like, was it like when they were fighting or like
Yeah, they're like
recently?
fighting. I think that was just like
Yeah, I mean, I remember when Elon apparently got punched in the face. I don't know, because that news got like hit, like Trump tweeted some stuff about tariffs a few weeks ago that really sent the market into tailspin, and I was golfing, or I forgot what I was doing, but I wasn't like, I traded the morning, and then like they started fighting at like, I don't know, or whatever you were saying was like 11:30, 12, and I was like not home, and I was like, oh great, the market's down 1,000 points. That's fun, real. We are in. Let me see here. Turn on the extended session. We're going right. We might be going right back to overnight low here. Or actually, I'm sorry, we're through overnight low in the ES, but the Nasdaq is not. Oil coming into my limit that I have. Is that? All right, we have to assume. All right, I'm almost filled in oil completely. Wow. We are in extensions below. I'm drawing the 930 low to low here, and I'm going to assume that's the sequence unless it breaks. I just did something that I'd never seen done before, and I don't even know how to do it again. I just was able to show the right hand grid as a price at percentage, but don't even know how I got to that setting. What is that? Oh, there's gold. So picked up gold again. Picked up gold, picked up CL. Those are going to be the focuses. I'm just going to let these indexes continue to move lower, and I'm going from what was a bullish bias. I'm going to be flipping that bias here just because of this price action from the open. We are now pretty negative. So I do think it's possible we, especially if we start heading below and holding below those levels that Perry mentioned, we're going to come right back to that QQQ level. This is this overnight low, and the ES is going to trade this 68.50 at the same time. If we don't have anybody stepping in here, then look out below. It's Where's the? I'm gonna put the VIX over here. Man, that Dow is leading us lower as well. Where is the VIX? Just be careful. I'm gonna need to see confirmation of longs at this point in time. We attempted longs here this morning, and there is just nobody really home on them. So we'll look for the next short.
So what are like the indicators for you to start flipping towards
So
bearish?
yeah, this one primarily. So these numbers at the top, -5, that's a combination of like 5 different indicators. One of them is the volume weighted moving average. The other is just called the parabolic SAR. And then I have leg starts and swing marks. So if we're like below all of them, it'll print -5 for me. And it actually started printing -5 on this bar. You see how this bar is a little different shade?
Mm-hmm.
When that happened, this was also an ATR expansion bar, which means that the move has gone like larger than the average, and which usually happens at least once at the open because volatility expands any other way. And since that's happened, we've just been going straight. It also just there's not a single bar up here. We were you open the day and you only have the prior day's information, like with the trend was clearly going higher, and then you make an attempt of the trend continuation. But sometimes the trend just doesn't continue and it begins a separate trend, and that's what happened here this morning. We're in a continuation from what looked like, higher highs and higher lows, and that has changed. And as long as that's changed, like I'm now in the assumption that we're going to make lower lows and lower highs until proven otherwise. So I'm flipping my bias based on that, and then also just like this is -5 here. Like
Yeah, I guess you.
we're below, like it's just, and you just look at the price action from this open, like nobody's buying. I don't know why. I'm not going to sit here and debate the reasons of why the market's weak. I don't know that. I'm never going to know that. It's just at the end of the day, sellers are more aggressive than buyers, and you got to trade that. All right, we got an 11-point ATR here in gold, so I'm going to move my brackets to 11, 12, 33, and then it is 35. Move my stop up here in CL. $68.73. I will short in ES if we get up there. And then the NASDAQ, I'm going to do a separate. We're going to go 96s. My friend Gianni, Dan.
What's up, Dan?
He was like, who is that?
Just some bum.
Yeah. Bum from New York. Flew in from New York to watch me.
That's right.
No, he didn't. He is from New York though.
I wanted to learn how the pros do it, Dan.
Seeing inside the stream. He just wanted to be on my giant YouTube following. Just
That's right.
see how many people pay attention to me.
How many likes are we gonna get?
22 likes. We're still keeping over that 50%.
Smash that like button, guys.
All right, we're coming up here. So I've entered in oil and gold again. I'm not using let's see. Gold did exactly what I said it was gonna do. We traded into that target. We faded lower. Let's see what the reaction is. Last time we got that fade lower, there was a swift move back up to new highs. We'll see if we can get that same thing again. I want to know where we are in 25 minutes past the entries. The entries at 10:25, so we're going to go out to 10. The end of the 10:50 bar. I'm going to move my target just up the highs here, and then ideally see the same thing. I'd be looking for like a move back up to 6101. CL is like not great here. Like there's not a great range, but 6101, if I can get the move back up there. I mean, it's not small, but this is just a range trade, bottom of the range, anticipating high of the range. and then index is looking for maybe a continuation lower.
So, do you have any thoughts over on gold? Because you've been having success with that, huh?
Yeah, so I mean, I just entered it again. Um, so we'll see what happens. I've got my timer set for 25 minutes and I've moved my stop to the average to range here. So we'll see. I mean, it's been the only market that's kind of stayed in range that I've traded so far. The indexes have moved outside of range and have just begun selling off to the bottom, but gold has changed as a market over the last, I don't know, like few months just because it's gotten so high in its price. It's become a really volatile market to trade when it really wasn't before. Now like it's a pretty big market.
Mm.
I mean, went from like $2,000 an ounce to $4,000 an ounce in the last couple of years, which doubles the size of the contract. It basically increases like the value of the contract is calculated by multiplying the number, whatever number we're at, which is like 4,000.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be 4,000 times it's $100 a point. So 4,000 times $100. It's almost $500,000 contract.
Oh,
Futures that's in the total value. And then you have what's called the micros, which are 1/10 that size. But yeah, $2,000, it's a $200,000 contract, notional value, and at $4,000, it's double that.
right. Gotcha.
So yeah, we'll see if this reaction's not as good as the other one. Like before, I was able to get like an expansionary target, meaning my target was above a new high. But in 25 minutes, depending on where we are, we're right at my entry. But depending on where we are, I'll probably just, if we're not like aggressively higher, then I will move my target a little bit lower, just not expecting us to take out that high, but just kind of staying in this range instead. So I'll look for like, maybe 12 points instead of like 20 plus that I got last time. But it all just depends on the reaction. This oil reaction though is great. 57 was my original order that didn't get hit, so I moved it up. But this move so far in oil is actually seeing a little bit better of a reaction because instantly within getting in it, we're going back up. This yellow bar is called an ATR expansion, which means that the range has expanded more than 50% of the average. And if we have an expansionary move into a new low, that does not have continuation, it does not continue lower, that reversal usually is a pretty good sign of a bottom being put in the market. So, because basically it's like everybody's rushing in, and then it's like, oh, we're not going anywhere,
Yeah.
and then we instantly flip. We came back down. Look at this level again. These are Perry's levels, so these yellow levels that he went over.
Yeah.
So these are the options dealer levels that we just bid off of in these indexes. So I'm actually going to cancel these shorts because of that powerful move. I don't want to short a continuation into those at all. Instead, we're going to watch the reaction off of those index lows. Those are the delta levels. I know Perry's long from there. Those are great levels that he gave out. Let me
Yeah,
go
he's
back
right
there.
on it.
Yeah. So it's cool because that's like the mechanics of the market. So what I'll do is I'll just watch to see the reaction. If you are long from those lows that Perry mentioned, we're gonna get up probably to at least a 68.73 quarter to 26,110. But yeah, those levels are freaking spot on. Just right there, 26,024 and 68.50. So that just goes to show like how much control the options dealers and those hedgers have really over the market.
Wow.
Okay, Dan. So the options, so what Perry does is he pulls all of the data from the QQQs, the SPY, the SPX, and then he overlays like the equivalent of what they would be in the NQ or like the ES. So in the morning trade plan, if you go and watch under the trade plan videos, Perry, obviously I do a video which is still going and Perry does a video. So he'll do this video. You can watch it from this morning. He explains those levels in his video this morning, and then he shares his grid. Okay, and this grid here is this link here is what I have right here that gave me the levels. But he explained them in the morning. Um, it's where it's where the most open interest is. He pays attention to large open interest in the QQQs, the SPYs, the SPX, and the NDX, but really the big ones are the QQQs and the SPX and the SPY, and then overlays where those levels would be because they're different instruments. Those are the ETFs, these are the futures, and then puts basically labels these levels and the yellow lines are going to be large open interest, and then sometimes we'll have like put walls and call walls. But you can see we had a level of open interest all the way up here around 26,230s, and we fell all the way back down to, and that's also the overnight low, and then just more dealer hedging comes in. Same thing in the ES with that upper band here, and then we just drop all the way down. But yeah, he shared these levels before they traded them, and you can see how accurate they are.
It's like he hit it.
Yeah, I know he's long from there. I know how he trades. I assume he's long from there, unless he's not at his desk. But what we'll do is like, so if you're a believer in these levels, you know, and you miss the entry like I did, we put in a fair value gap. We've inverted the fair value gap. Man, if we can come back down here to the ES to, I'm going to do 68.50, 970s. So, you know, we'll miss a reaction, but we'll try to get in 59.75. And then do it here, do 53s. We'll see if they pull back into that. Looking good so far, though, in gold and oil. Both of those markets are positive above their entries. Do I have the ATR indicator for Thinkorswim? Yeah. Tyler, jump in my room. I created that code, so of course I got it. The one on Thinkorswim sucks. The default one, so I wrote my own. The euro is just whipping. Just whipping. Just like choo choo. It's like really a shitty market. I used to trade it in like 2011, believe it or not. How old are you?
38.
38, yeah. I mean, 2011, because that's when the euro crisis was going on, and there was a lot of volatility. So like they thought Greece was gonna go under. All those countries had like significant debt loads, and like the euro would be like whipping around. And it was a crazier contract than the Nasdaq. The Nasdaq was also like, I don't even know what the Nasdaq was in 2011, whatever price it was. I mean, that's like, God, it's almost 15 years ago.
Do you trade Forex at all? Or
So the euro would be considered Forex. This is just the futures of Forex. I don't trade Forex though. One of the things that's like enticing about Forex trading, just like options trading, is just the leverage involved, but the futures is leverage too. All right, instantly back up. These orders are not going to get filled for my indexes, but we'll keep working on them. Instantly back up to that 73. Perry nailed it. Forex is yeah. I know someone's gonna be in it, Andrew, from this room, but I haven't even looked at what it is. What's the top 100 right now? it's kind of, I mean, I like the way they do this competition a little better because it's like across different asset classes and like there's no real, you can't really trade big size. All right, there's your ES 73 quarter. Nice. What's your what's the top 100 P&L right now? Is it 1,000? Is it what is it?
Nice.
There's a trading competition with 10,000 people. He's in 80th place, which is pretty freaking good. I haven't looked at it. I'm probably, I don't know. I don't know what I'm at. Check at the end of the day. I don't want to concern myself with it. But I figured if like somebody in my room is gonna definitely place like up there. We have like enough good traders in here to
Yeah,
take
you
home
do.
some prizes.
Awesome. So are there like indicators which push it into one direction or
No, no. Indicators are technically always lagging. Um, so you're just pulling data and analyzing it. So if you're positive, you're in the top 500, basically. um, yeah, the indicators don't move the markets. We're just like,
information?
yeah, I mean, one of the best indicators that like would move the markets to it is those points of reference that he had pointed out, because those are where like the mechanics of the market, it's like the options dealers, when we get to those levels, like they'll either buy futures to
Okay.
offset their position.
Right.
So like in this case, like that is kind of, what that does, but it's not moving the market. I don't know. It's like there's
Yeah.
nothing really like moving the market. Just everything in combination moves the market.
Right.
But they will, like those options, that's just a natural phenomenon that happens.
So are there time periods where you feel are like more productive for you?
The morning is going to be like the most active
Yeah.
session. And then the other thing about like, you have to be like dedicated, like your attention has to be dedicated. Like if I find myself being lazy, because it's really easy to like walk away from your desk, not manage your positions correctly. Like you have to have full focus, and if you don't have full focus, you're just not going to perform at what your best is. I think it's really hard to maintain like excellent concentration and a level head for 6.5 hours straight.
Yeah, for sure.
So I think it's important to like basically break. All right, filled in the MNQ. So I'm gonna try to take this out. Let's see here. Do not need this big of targets. We're gonna look at 20s. I'm gonna reset my timer. We're coming up on 25 minutes of me in my other positions. In those other positions I'm referring to would be gold and oil. So I'm going to be moving those stops up. It's about 2 minutes till my timer goes off. So I'm moving my stops for those lows, just managing that position. I And then decent reaction. I mean, great reaction there. Didn't quite get that ES fill. 157s. Okay, my targets in the Nasdaq are 26,121 and 26,156. See here. Gold. Should have taken that off for 12 points. Gonna move my gold down to a 1 ATR, which is 12 points. That puts me at 35s. And then make sure it's moved up. Ding, ding, ding. Look at that euro.
It's the competition you're talking about.
Yeah. Just trying to figure out where this leaderboard is.
$8,000 on the day, not bad.
That's the first place. That's these guys are up 2,000. I mean, they limit your size to. I'm in the top 500. So I mean, but these guys are way ahead of me. They must. I don't know how they're up that much already. I mean, it blows my mind because like the size they're trading is not that
Not
big.
that high, yeah.
Yeah, like I don't even know how you got to be up $2,500 like on a multi micro like.
Crazy.
I feel like there has to be some type of cheating involved just because like that those numbers make no sense to me, but they literally would have had to hit like every move like top to bottom. But yeah, I mean I'm top 500 right now, which is decent, but we'll see where we are at the end of the week. You have to like in order to view it, I think you have to be signed up for the competition, Dan. You have to like log in. I just followed some instructions online because it gives you here. Yeah, I'm not sure if you signed up. I think I sent you the link. Come on, come on, come on, come on. I guess if you nailed that whole move short, 6,000, 2,000. It's a bigger move than I thought it was. Like this entire move short, I think would have been, let's see, that'd been like 200. If you hit the whole move max size, it's 400, 800, be about $800, a little more than $800 if you were short that high and then like covered that low.
Mhm. So what are you looking at when you enter a trade?
So in this case, so we came off this support level that Perry had, and then I saw buyers come in and take the market higher. This is called the fair value gap, which is just a single bar that doesn't have overlapping price action. You see how these are overlapping here?
Yeah.
And then this one doesn't, this doesn't have any overlapping immediately next to it. So then when we pop back through it, that's an indication of a trend change for me on top of there being a support level there. So then I took this low and drew it to high and divided the distance by 2, and then I just placed an order to buy. And then I look at and then I look at this number, which is giving me the average true range, and I set my expectations based on that average true range. And then I also set a timer because better have signed up through my link, Dan. then I set a timer to just judge my expectations on like how far we're moving. Cool. um, Come on, gold, turn around.
Come on, gold.
It's gonna go back. All right, oil target hit. That was a nice trade.
Yes.
So we get this. Oh, gold just got taken out. It's all right. It was like a 5-point loser, and
Wasn't too bad.
yeah, I still think that'll turn around, but I'm gonna wait. I try to from over trading, like one of the rules like I like to follow is just like wait 25 minutes, like when you get topped out of a trade, because it's so tempting. Like one of the worst habits to have, it's just like oh, you're out, like get that money back, like so I'm just like, all right, look, let's see what's gonna happen. Like is the world gonna change in the next 25 minutes? Probably not. Like we might be all the way back down at 405 in the next 25 minutes. Euro, there's definitely some dollar related stuff here going on, and
Yeah.
I wish I got
silly, right?
yeah, I wish I got long that ES too, but my order was not high enough, so ES didn't get as deep of a pullback as the Nasdaq did. I had an order at 61s and we went way more aggressive than that. So just something to keep in mind, guys, is ES is out of this low holding a stronger sequence. I'm still gonna continue to. I'm gonna move my order up in the ES to 64s. Let's go. Good job, Andrew.
Yes.
So the grand winner at all of it. So this is like a qualifier, and then whoever wins first place gets it's 100 grand. It's pretty crazy. It's a big prize. It's not like
Not bad.
yeah, but there's a bunch of other prizes. There'll be some prizes taken home by some traders in this room. That's for sure. Most people just don't know what they're doing when it comes to trading, so it's not hard to beat half the field.
Shit. I might jump in there and be in that half.
You signed up for it, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, I mean you can fucking play around. Like you got a computer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just have to download some software. Mm, 24. Moving my targets down a little bit. Oh, okay, that's right. They have it. You can trade on the web as well. I hope it keeps going your way. I just covered CL. Or I took it, not covered, but took my long off. Definitely can. I mean, we're coming out of a big old halfway back long. I would not be surprised to see this thing at new highs of the day before the day's over. Euro. What are we doing here? They're letting people use GCL. I don't know. Does QM have the same? Is QM gold? I forgot. That's 50% of CL. Ah, gotcha. Yeah, MCL is really small. I'm surprised they didn't do that too, considering they're letting people trade the 60, which I guess I should trade 60. CX60 is like decent value. Oh, come on, NQ.
You get tempted to just jump in.
I know. I'm so tempted to jump right back in gold. I knew that I was gonna get stopped out. I wasn't gonna go anywhere, but I was like, whatever. I was like, you gotta take those licks sometimes.
Yeah,
It is tempting to just see that. I know. But what I think will happen is I'll still be able to like after 25 minutes, I'll still be able to get in around this level because if we're gonna hold like really technically, like this is just wiki action. Like we're coming right back up, like we're above my entry. But who knows? This could have been the other way too. You can't just like hold and hope.
Right.
You gotta set your risk limits and it plays out over time. You just can't like taking outsized losses. Like little losses are fine, but if you take a big loss, you just screw yourself. Hard to get back from that.
Yeah, I feel that.
What time are you usually getting up every day? Wake up early or?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm up pretty early. I tried to get that Uber and it was like 15 minutes.
Oh yeah, I know. Sometimes I move faster in the morning. It's like I don't know, because people like haven't gotten downtown. Where were you coming? Were you Gold Coast?
Streeterville.
Oh, yeah, that's not far. Plus that traffic coming this way, like for my location and where I live, like what'd you come down Van Buren?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. CL moving. Hi, Salty. Like, see that red bar. Makes me feel like I made the right choice. I think it could come back like in this zone. This like shouldn't so it's just like just give it time. There's always a setup that you can reduce your risk on as opposed to like over trading.
Yeah, imagine.
Yeah, this is a great reaction though. And since I bought oil, there has not been a red bar. That's like, I said that ATR bound, you got expansionary low. Word for you, expansionary low, and then a movement back up immediately above it. So it's like liquidation break, which is just like a new low or a new high. Traders getting taken out and then immediately heading back that direction. But it ran to my targets. Like the only management you can do if you have a really strong response and you like think maybe we can go higher, you have to just either one, you making the decision to move your stop up with the market and maybe stretch it for a little more. Because the last thing you want to do is like not move your stop and expect it to go higher and then it goes to where you thought it was going to go and then right back in your face. So you really have to,
Get dunked
yeah,
on.
you either make the decision, if I'm moving my targets up, am I moving my stop up too? And then like it give it another 25 minutes or whatever and let it do what it's going to do.
What's going on with the euro?
It's just moving in this like small range here.
Shit.
Yeah, I don't really have like if we come back into like this level, I'll buy it, but I don't really have like a pattern. I also don't trade it that often, so it's if we get all the way up here at 115.63s, I'll take a short, or if we get down to 150, 115.43s, I'll get long. But we're just kind of in the middle of no-go zone for me.
Yeah,
But I'll the indexes aren't moving because the ES hasn't traded. The ES needs to, once the ES comes down and trades at support, the Nasdaq will pop higher. But we're going to be running into lunch here in about 21 minutes, and then it kind of gets a little sloppy, and you really don't want to be stretching for anything. Yeah, golden. I wish I had a setup in. Can you trade 3 MCL? Does anybody know? I think you can trade more than 2. I know there was one market you could, but I'll buy this lower level if we get it. In the meantime, 40.13s. We're just going sideways in these indexes. Quite boring. Oh, okay. You can trade 3 in the MES and the MNQ. I'm only trading 2. Gotta change that. Well, that doesn't help me.
Trying to get in there, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna let. We haven't gone anywhere. I'm just hoping we can come down into it, and then also in gold. All right, I'm gonna copy that image in announcements. There we go. Euro, MCL, micro crude. All right. So it just got long.
Let's go.
Tag that low. So I'm just gonna look. This number is 14. That's all I'm gonna look for. So 13 plus 14 is 57.
That.
So yeah, especially like if I think we're like getting a little choppy, I'm like I'm not looking for anything special, but that's still like a decent move. So
Mhm. Getting in there.
where is the no? There we go. All right, long gold from 4013.1. That's the last trade I placed. I'm also long the Nasdaq. Well, got about 15 minutes till the European session close.
Market mommy.
Yeah, Market Mommy. She's a good friend of mine.
Uh,
pretty slow on these indexes. That's where I gotta start standing. Like after 2.5 hours, this like stool I have, it just doesn't even it's supposed to engage my core.
Yeah,
So I'm not
yeah,
like
yeah,
sitting,
yeah.
I mean just sitting all day. Just
I get you. You have one of those like
yeah,
desk
yeah,
sets stand up.
yeah, it goes up. I'll do like an hour. But I'll just when the market slows down, I just lay on my couch.
Yeah,
I just set timers and for do some stretches on the floor or whatever. Try to make sure
yeah.
my back's not broken.
Get that.
It would be helpful if these indexes could move here. They're probably not going to move until the lunchtime. It looks like we've gone overlapping bars now for like 50 minutes or 40 minutes. 1, 10, 20, 30, 40.
Want to do nothing now.
Yeah. I mean, my entry's great, but it'll just, and then like at the time frame switch will definitely move because traders will like if there's a bunch of I don't know maybe we've been down the whole day so there's probably still a decent amount of inventory short so traders still short and as soon as we take out this high they're all just gonna like can't cover.
Mm.
But, I mean my positioning is great it's just like sooner or later you're like all right come on so here we go.
Yeah, this one's looking good.
Yeah.
So what are you calculating when you?
I'm drawing highs to lows. So this is just called a Fibonacci retracement tool.
Mm-hmm.
So it takes whatever I started, I call that my anchor point, and then I just refer to this as my pivot point where I end the draw. This blue line would be the middle of that draw.
Okay.
Like so just measuring distances of highs and lows that can act as resistance points. Like for example, where I bought oil was last week's low on Thursday to the overnight high, that whole move divided by two was this level. And you could see like there was like active participants there that found the market to be
Right.
good and then just instantly the other way. It was also the third touch of like this is what I like to see too, third touch of a trend line. So you have like one, two touches, two touch, three. That's a something that I don't know for whatever reason like And then on the other side, like this is a channel. We broke out of the channel, so that'll create like a second leg. These are all like different nuances of like any individual move. Okey-dokey. I'm about to get out of this index. I just don't like that we're not going anywhere. Like one more. Give it 10 more minutes. Target down a little bit. Gold now peaking back up. Well, coming up on $1 move out of lows and oil. That's a pretty big move.
Yo.
She'll go. She'll go.
She will right now.
Gotta.
Gotta watch.
Yeah, during lunch, then it just gets like, it's like a lot of this. Like how slow it is, you're just like sitting here like, what am I doing with my time?
Yeah, no, I mean,
They say slow markets are dangerous markets. That's like, because you're more.
they make you make like stupid decisions.
Exactly. Yeah, you lose your patience. You know, like you're also just like not. There's not like much of a rhythm to the market. It's a lot of like, we'll take out a low and then like you chase it lower. The faster the market, the better. Because like if you make a couple mistakes in a slow market, it's really hard to come back from because there's not the opportunity. If it's a faster market and you make a mistake, it's not a big. It's, I mean, obviously you don't want to make mistakes, but you have like the range and the opportunity to make that money back. I got my safety line. Always got to remember the safety line. Yeah, no, that is such a great move in CL. And 60.57 is right from the trade plan. We're trading 61.42s right back at the highs of the day. Oh man, I'd love another entry, but that might not be till later. Five minutes. Where did you buy your CL and your stop? I think my entry ended up being 60.69 and my stop was 20 ticks and my target was 60. I forgot what my target was. I think it was like the full halfway back short. I think it was like 61 something. 61.01 maybe. So I ran from like, it was like a 30-point target. It wasn't great. I mean, compared to how big we've moved, but my stop was like 20 ticks. And then I moved it up as soon as we went my way to under 51s. All right, this NASDAQ is very close to losing my patience because we're just not doing anything. I have that. I'm taking my Nasdaq off for like 20 points here. I've just been in the trade so long, and we're going into 11:30. Unless if we trade ES as 67.5, that's actually gonna create a bid in the market. So if we trade that ES first before getting my trade off, I'm just gonna leave my targets at 20. Change my mind. Oh, we're up over 100 views today.
Let's go.
They like the commentary from you.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a little more interactive if I have somebody here and I'm like,
Oh
you have
yeah,
questions and
for
stuff
sure.
because yes, they like mommy as well.
Yeah, mommy's here.
Mommy's here.
Mommy better like the video.
Yeah, mommy, like the video. Back at the entry. What are these emojis that
Over here. Took out a lot of fun ones.
yeah, I bet they did. I don't have the gay one anymore.
Yeah, that's not fun.
So many to choose from.
Oh yeah.
Some good one.
Sold an NFT collection for a lot of it.
What, this penguin? The pudgy penguins? You ever
Dude,
heard?
actually,
You ever heard of pudgy penguins?
dude, I sold a whole collection.
Really?
Yeah.
Pudgies? Did you
I
mint them?
started one
You
and
started one?
sold the whole collection.
Oh my god, you were minting those things?
Fuck yeah.
Dude, there was a lot of money in that. First, a kid's name who started that. I follow my name.
Luca.
Luca, yeah,
Yeah.
he follows me on Instagram.
Dude, I talked to him like personally.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a smart kid.
He is.
What else is he? He brought those shooter balls. You know that? They're everywhere. All the little kids play with them. They're like those. Yeah, you ever seen those? It's like they're like water pellets.
Oh
So
yeah,
he
okay.
imported those.
Yeah, dude,
He's a smart business guy.
I think he's it. Yeah, I
He's a
don't
sharp
know.
guy.
Well, there's
Oh, I mean,
stuff
yeah, I'm
going
sure
on.
there is.
Yeah.
I'm sure there is. It's the NFT space. He's scamming somebody.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how that stuff works. I've never got into the NFTs, but yeah, there's.
Dude,
And anytime you have a picture of a penguin worth 100 grand, you're kind of like, what's going on here?
yeah.
I remember when those monkeys were worth a bunch of money. Those apes.
Bored apes.
Yeah, I was like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. $700,000.
Shit. Yeah, it's
How many did you have?
we had 4,000.
4,000
We minted them out.
penguins?
No, 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 no,
Like just
no.
all together?
No, I did a collection
Uh-huh.
and we used them as like access to a video game.
Okay. Oh
And
shit.
dude, we had people in like Russia and the Philippines playing, and we spent a lot of money on this game.
Uh-huh.
And it was
Pretty well.
it
Dude,
was it
what
did
year did you
alright.
launch?
This was around 2021.
Okay. So there's
So
still some hype in there.
it's just so hard because you have to you basically have to be worried. So we launched a token too.
Okay.
You actually have to be like you have to be building two businesses. You have to be concerned about like keeping the token price in a reasonable spot, and then
Mhm.
you're building a fucking video game at the same time.
Uh-huh.
So
Yeah.
so everybody thinks like blockchain and video games are gonna happen soon, but you're building two businesses at once. It's
Yeah.
just very difficult.
No, for sure. I mean, I never thought any of that stuff was easy. Like,
Oh my God, no.
I mean, you really got, or you just, I don't know how it works, like, at all. I mean, there's some, all I knew is at some point that picture of the monkey wasn't worth 700 grand. I was like, I don't know about you guys, but a
Yeah.
JPEG of an ape is
Yeah.
not exactly the Mona Lisa. They're like, but art is invaluable. I'm like,
Yeah, I
"No."
mean, I understand the idea of it like being scarce, because it's a tangible asset on like the internet.
Yeah.
I think there's value to that long term, but
Uh-huh.
that was just a
The
lot of like
value is
money laundering,
perception.
man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, for sure. I mean, it had to be. Well, there's that documentary about that Bored Ape stuff that's really interesting. I don't know, they like gave a lot of them away to celebrities and like made it like just like all these celebrities had them. It's like where these celebrities get them, and you had the impression that these celebrities were spending like hundreds of thousands of dollars on these
Yeah.
Bored Apes. Maybe a couple did, but a lot of them were just giving them it.
Yeah. I mean, there's just the crypto markets are all just like capturing attention really, and
Yeah. Do you think there was some money laundering in the Penguins? The Penguins were they
dude,
laundering
there's
money
there's
from?
super sketchy stuff with the Penguins.
Yeah, it's crazy. He's actually one of the only ones that actually got like some stuff in like Walmart. It's kind of crazy, actually.
Sam Bankman-Fried, he's been on a I've hung out with that crowd a little
Really?
bit,
Were you in the
yes.
orgy parties? You can be honest.
Dude, you're
uh,
there was just something off. He had a $500 million yacht in Miami, like, and this
uh,
guy came out of nowhere.
yeah,
I have my thoughts about him.
that's crazy. I had a couple friends get ripped for a few hundred G's, but like they liquidated them, of course, at the low. They got their money back.
Good for them.
But like the thing is, like, let's say they had like $150,000 of Bitcoin at like 15K. That was the mark to market. It was $1 million now. So it's like, yeah, they got their 115K back, like mark to market on the collapse, which of course was the low of Bitcoin
Right.
because it was the liquidation. But had they actually just been given the coins that they had, it's 10x that.
Shit.
But yeah, I remember like reading and seeing stuff about that.
Not that anybody wants a call, but I did pretty well with Zcash.
Oh,
That's gonna
Oh
be
yeah, no, you were telling me about that. I like that the privacy token that's been booming for sure. I don't have access to charting of it, but let's see.
fuck 415 is not bad.
Let's see this chart. What a breakout. That's a 24-hour, 1 month.
Bless you.
Thank you.
It was around 150.
Wow. When the fuck was it $4,000?
Oh, dude, it dropped off a cliff, and then it was like a joke forever, and people started talking about it online, and just the
It's
momentum
a
from
$500 move up here.
just the momentum of online
$700.
conversation really started pushing it.
Wow, this is on. How long has this breakout started? Let's see. Let's go 1 year. Really started in September. Yeesh. All right, guys, it is time to shut down the YouTube. It's 11:30 in New York, East Coast time. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Subscribe to the channel. I'll be up. I have my Discord running where you guys can see everything I got going on in the Zoom and this Ninja Trader competition. I'm in 700th place out of 2,000 or out of 10,000. So top 10%, nothing crazy. We'll see where we're at in a few days, but top 10% is decent. Beating 9 of you, but I want to beat 99 of you. Take care.
Bye, guys.
So I just like end.